How's everybody tonight? Give it up for the other comics that were performing here earlier. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up for me again. Thank you. Anyways, my name is Alby. I've performed here a few times, and I've performed at other open mics and stuff. And I rarely do comedy or storytelling anymore. The last time I actually did it was about a year ago, so bear with me. It gave me time to get to know one another. A lot of people say I look Italian, but I'm not. I'm actually half Mexican and half Puerto Rican, so I'm like full-blown Hispanic. But there's three things I can't do. I can't speak Spanish, I can't cook, and I can't dance. So, scratch that off. And I'm actually more of a storyteller. I'll tell you one story. I was hanging out with some buddies a long time ago. We went bar hopping, and then all of a sudden we decided to go to La Vix, you know, because everyone decides to go there at 2 a.m. And I'm waiting in line, and I'm looking at the menu, deciding what I want. And this guy, you know, kind of like taps my shoulder, and he's like, "How you doing tonight?" And I'm like, "Doing pretty good. How you doing?" He's like, "Doing really good." And I realized that he's homeless because he reeks. Yeah. And all of a sudden, he kind of, you can feel like his presence, like right behind me, like the back of his lips. And all of a sudden, he whispers to me, kind of loudly, going, "God, I have a pretty mouth." And I'm like, I kind of turns around, I'm like, "Thank you." So I had to turn a little bit more to see what this guy looks like, and I'm like, okay, not my type, sorry. So I'm trying to like avoid the conversation with him, and he's like, "Can I take you home?" And I'm like, you know what? I think I want a burger all of a sudden. So I kind of walk out slowly to Jack in the Box, which is next door, and I leave my buddies there, and all of a sudden I hear footsteps, like running footsteps. It turns out it's this guy. And he's screaming, "Let me show you what I'm made of!" Half his pants are pulled down, and he reeks of urine, and I'm like almost like 2 feet, like 10 feet away from him, and then it's just creepy. So I decided to run as fast as I can. I'm running as fast as I can. Side note, I was really heavy at the time, so every step I was taking, my stomach was uppercutting me in the chin. Anyways, so I managed to make a left, right. I don't know how this guy's catching up with me, but he just, the whole time, half his pants are down, his boxers are like, he had shit stains in the front. I don't know how he did that, but he did it. And just the whole time, his mouth was like drooling, or his mouth was watering, and he was, at that point, I was scared. So, so I keep going left, right, and then all of a sudden, you know, ADD pops in. I managed to near Century camera 12, so I was like, "Oh, what's playing?" And I was like, "No, fuck that." So I kept running, and I managed to find out where I parked, and then I sat in my car and took a deep breath, you know, because at the time I had to take a lot of them. And I'm surprised he didn't find me because I was breathing really heavily at the time. So you hear a car, you know, all steam boxed, and it wasn't from sex, it was me breathing. So it was all you hear is and the windows are up, so you can still hear me. And yeah, so, and all of a sudden, like, I feel burning between my legs, and I'm thinking, okay, I didn't get laid that night, it can't be bad. So in the garage, I pulled down my pants, and it may look bad at the time, but right here I was bleeding, and it was really red. It looked like I was smuggling strawberries between my legs. That's how bad it was. So yeah, I was finished with that story. And on another note, like I said, I don't really do transitional material. I'll just move on to the other one. Like I said, back, I used to be really heavy. I'm still kind of a big guy now. Like, decent looking, I guess. A few years ago, I was about 320 pounds. I'll just be laid right there on the floor. And one day I just decided to lose all the weight. Well, it was because of a girl, I'll be honest with you. Fell for her pretty hard, but then we just really didn't see things differently. You know, I was the type of person that liked to spend time with her. She was the type that likes to suck other guys' dicks, so it didn't really match up to my expectations. So within a year, I went from 320 to 175, and apparently that was underweight for my height. A lot of people thought I was doing drugs. So I'm up to 200 now, which is kind of good. Yeah, so how's everyone so far?
Awesome.
Awesome? Yeah, thanks. I'll be honest, I'll throw on the table. I am bi-curious. Anyone here opposed to that or voted yes on A, decide, just do me a favor, just go outside, light up a cigarette, and blow it out your ass. That's all I can really say about that. So, I don't know, I started thinking about that a lot more because, I don't know, I guess I'm really open, you know. A lot of good-looking women in here, a lot of good-looking guys. Anyways, so Valentine's Day's coming up. Remember that. It's okay. I'll break up with her on the 13th. So, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I started thinking a lot about that, and I don't know, just fucking be open, you know, get over it, all the hate and shit. I wish the world was just like one big orgy, you know. I don't know if you can agree with me. You can get some sort of note about that, you know. We all like love each other. Seriously? No. You guys agree? Any? No? Do you guys all hate equally?
No.
Yeah? No? I like you. So, so yeah. Also, one more side note. I myself work at a coffee shop. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to get sued. And worked for that coffee shop for 9 years, and I realized one thing. There's a lot of people, I'm not going to say hey, I'm not a fan of. And I'll tell you one particular story. I've told this story before. Ali's back here has heard that. One customer I had was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, the guy drinks decaf, just to let you guys know. One day he comes in, and you know when he comes in, I'm making drinks, and then you see two big black Denali's, and you know someone important or a heist, I don't know. And the way he comes in is like the head security guard will come in, and then he'll like scope the place. And I'm like, oh, can I get a drink started for you? Fucking ignores me. And then all of a sudden you hear like, you can bring him in, you can bring him in. And then he comes in. For the record, he's a little bit taller than me, so he's not as big as, you know, he is on TV, but then again, he's like, what, 60 now? Or 50? And you can tell when the guy wears makeups, when he wears makeup. Because he was doing speeches and stuff. So when he comes in, I'm like, oh, that's L'Oreal. I know that, look, I know that makeup, I know that, you know, my sister wears it. And yeah, so anyways. So he'll come in and, you know, he'll be a nice guy, he'll order his own drink. The accent's real. And I'm trying so hard not to laugh. So he comes in and he's like, could I get the decaf espresso macchiato? And I'm trying so hard not to go, okay. Go get some pussy together, like to eat it, you know. I don't know. So he orders, and then his security guard will order, and he'll pay for him, which is, I guess, is nice of him, you know, little Persian guy. And little, I know, right? He's a security guard. But he comes in with like 10 other people, and then he lets the little guy pay. And all of a sudden he takes his money, and then I overhear Arnold. He's like, did you tip him? And I guess the guy didn't tip us. So Arnold comes up to the tip jar, and he puts like $3 in there, and he says, I shit you not, word for word. He's like, I know how you Persians don't tip. And I'm like, I look at him, he looks at me, he's winking at me, and I'm like, okay, is our governor racist? And did he just make a pass at me? I don't, like, I'm curious and all, but I don't know about Austrian guys. Arnold to be, you know, shit. So yeah, that was one of my top coffee shop stories. I have so many of them, but I'm not going to bore you with those. But I like you guys, you know. You guys are awesome. You guys can find me on Facebook. I'm under Alby Bustamante. And for the record, speaking of Facebook, before I walk off, I've asked this question before, but is it just me, or like, do you guys look at the news feed and then nowadays it kind of looks like you're looking at a food menu? I'm sorry, but I don't care what people are eating. I really don't. And a lot of people think Facebook's Dr. Phil. I'm just waiting for that one person who's actually going to off themselves and be like, I'm going to end it now, and check themselves at the Golden Gate Bridge. I think I'm done. Anyway, my name's Alby. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Love you all.